a reasonable price for a brand new system, and it might be in the minds of a lot of video gamers because you paid more for other systems. You paid probably more for an Xbox that was released a couple of years ago. Now, Xbox One is another one that a lot of video gamers are looking forward to. Xbox One, of course, the next level up from the newer version of the Xbox 360. That's expected to be even more. They're probably going to go at close to $600 because that Xbox is going to be able to do everything more that the original Xbox 360 could do, the newer version of the Xbox 360. So one thing that we're going to have to wait and find out are if these systems are going to live up to their hype and be able to do what they're actually forecasted to be able to do. I was anticipating a system to be released by Sony Computer Entertainment America that could do more than what PlayStation 3 was able to do. Obviously, it's going to be able to do a few additional things that PlayStation 3 was unable of doing, but one thing that is a huge downer and letdown for me is the backwards capability and how that continues to be limited every year when PlayStation puts out either a modified version of a previous system or a brand new console, and they're going to continue with that trend with the release of PlayStation 4. The slogan of it is "See the Future." Will we be a part of the future when PlayStation 4 finally drops? I really don't know if it's a glimpse into the future, because if it was a glimpse into the future, you would expect PlayStation 4 to be able to do everything. That is what PlayStation 3 professed it was able to do. The newer version of the PlayStation 3, the 160 gig consoles, the 320 gig consoles, professed to be able to do everything. And actually on the back of the video game consoles packaging, it professed and listed everything that it was able to do. It came Java capable, it came backwards play capable, it came with a photo viewer, it came with several USB inputs, it came with pretty much everything. And when you talk about a computerized video game console, yes, PlayStation 3 was able to do a lot of things, but there were more things that PlayStation 3 couldn't do that left video gamers and fans of PlayStation 2 and 1 kind of down in the dumps. I know PlayStation 3 disappointed me more than once when I found out more and more that the system couldn't do as opposed to what it could do, and the things that it couldn't do significantly outnumbered the things that it actually could. So I said to myself, was paying $249 for a modified version of the PlayStation 3, up one from its previous release, actually worth it? And I determined it actually wasn't. Now, PlayStation video game consoles, yes, are my favorite, but will PlayStation continue to be my favorite? I might revert to going to Xbox if PlayStation 4 continues to let us down with all these press releases. We're just a little over 2.5 weeks away from its release, and with all this negativity being thrown the way of Sony Computer Entertainment America, what does this indicate for the future of video games when a video game console is being promoted with the slogan of "Seeing the Future"? There you see it on the YouTube edition of our radio show. We invite you to comment on things like the slogan, the system's price, the video game library, which is very limited, kind of letting me down more than probably anything. Besides that, of course, the limited backwards play. Really two things letting me down about the release of this system: the limited backwards play and the limited amount of games within the library. Assassin's Creed, a few racing games, a couple of war games. Hopefully 6 months from now, the video game library will significantly increase in diversity, which usually it does. I remember back to when PlayStation 2 was first released. Within 2 or 3 weeks of its release, it had over 50 titles available for the system. Mass production for PlayStation video games, and there were mass production for PlayStation 3 within the first 2 or 3 months of its release. So hopefully PlayStation 4 will continue with that trend, and we'll see a significant increase in the amount of titles available for the video game library. Xbox, one thing that I noticed about that system was there was a huge amount of diversity within their library, and there were more titles available. There was more of a variety of selection with Xbox video games, and that had a lot to do with how come Microsoft produced it opposed to Sony Computer Entertainment America. And of course they had the Xbox 360 Connect. PlayStation 3 came out with the PlayStation Move, but when they tried to come out with the PlayStation Move and compete with Xbox movable capability, they were unable to do it, in my opinion, because once again they were limited. I don't know what it is with the PlayStation Corporation, with this limited capability. I think they're trying to release a bit of a too much high definition capable system, so they kind of got to take so much of it out. But I think that with how this system is being promoted as seeing the future, I think we deserve to see a system that can do everything. Play PlayStation 1 through 3, play everything, and do more than any previous PlayStation could do. I don't think we should be limited, and if this is supposed to be the wave of the future, why are we seeing so much limitivity when it comes to the release of this system? It's letting me down. There you see the slogan, see the future, and you can find screenshots of PlayStation 4 on different websites like IGN.com. I referenced the press release earlier in the broadcast of how PlayStation 4 could not play PlayStation 3, and I assume it's not going to be able to play PlayStation 2 or 1. I was kind of hoping we were going to get a bit of a limited capability in playing games with this system. I referenced that press release. It is available on IGN.com for those looking for additional information on what this system can or cannot do. I think that a lot of video game fans are going to be more concerned with what the system can't do as opposed to what it can do. I know it's going to be Wi-Fi capable because you're going to be able to get on the newer version of the PlayStation Network. You're going to be able to use your USB devices in this system. You're going to be able to watch DVD and Blu-rays on this system. You're going to be able to do a lot with this system. So maybe it can do a little bit more than what PlayStation 3 could do with their previous releases of that system, which is something to look forward to, so you can kind of go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt. But we're just going to have to wait, as time will prove to be the most precious commodity with this system. The price is absolutely ridiculous. The limited amount of video games within the library within the first few days of its release is going to be atrocious. You're going to have your stomach turned actually trying to decipher what video game to purchase. And the more I think about it, maybe the bundle is the better choice for you, because you'll get actually 4 to 5 games and be able to have a bit of variety in your video game library, as opposed to buying a system and just buying 1 or 2 games to go with your PlayStation 4. Go with the bundle and pay $510 a piece. You'll get the additional controller, a subscription to PlayStation Network. You'll get some games in your library as opposed to 1 or 2, and the game prices are, I think, $10 in difference from the PlayStation 3 video game titles. So we don't have that much of a difference in price, about $10, $59.99 for a PlayStation 3 video game, $69.99 or what the PlayStation 4 video games are going for, so about maybe $10 or $12 within the price difference of a PlayStation 3 video game release, which they are going to continue to produce in 2014, 2015. For those wondering, production of PlayStation 3 items and PlayStation 3 video games will not cease to exist, kind of like how PlayStation 1 video game titles ceased to exist upon the release of PlayStation 2, and PS2 game titles ceased to exist upon the release of PlayStation 3 within a few months of its release. PlayStation 2 continued to release titles probably 4 or 5 months after PlayStation 3 dropped to create variety for customers of Sony Computer Entertainment America. But the good thing about PlayStation 3, because Blu-ray is still a big thing, we're still going to see PlayStation 3 video game titles dropped in 2014, 2015, because one video game title that I'm really looking forward to in 2014, if you caught my previous video blogs, is the release of Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, which will include Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth of Sleep, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which is something I'm looking forward to early in 2014, like a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans are looking forward to. And in months to come, obviously the up levels of video games are going to be released on PlayStation 4, as it professes to be the future of video games. Now I'm going to open up this as a radio form for you. What do you guys think of the release of PlayStation 4? Are you looking forward to it? Let us know at the bottom of this YouTube video in some comments amongst our 1,000 archives. Let us know what you're thinking about the release of PlayStation 4. Let us know on Twitter. You can follow our show at Jonathan Clarke 1, and let us know on Facebook with over 1,000 subscribers. Facebook.com/HLW Entertainment. Post something on our wall, photos, videos of PlayStation 4. I know YouTube.com has been exploding with PlayStation 4 videos and previews and reviews. People are pissed off about the release of PlayStation 4. More are pissed off than excited. Some are excited about the release of PlayStation 4 because if you're a die-hard video game fan, especially a fan of a console, you're going to immediately buy this system no matter what the faults of the system are. But I do recommend that you read a lot of reviews on websites like IGN.com. I'll probably include the link to IGN's article they posted on the release of PlayStation 4, confirming the limited capability of PS3 video games. Let us know what you think of it as we're opening up this radio show to you as an open forum. Let us know what you think of the release of PlayStation 4. Earlier in the show, I played Kelly Clarkson's hit from 2012, Catch My Breath. Coming up after the break, a song that outsold Lady Gaga's song Applause by more than thousands of copies. It's Katy Perry's Roar, selling 286,000 copies of her album Prison within a few weeks of its release. It's coming up after the break.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniels' rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts